We are just sitting in the camper here, deciding, I guess, to take a trip to the Grand Canyon. And we're down running around the roads in Arizona here. You may have seen some of my videos over on the Colorado River side, on the western side. But we're in Phoenix here, and we're heading out. We thought we'd take the interstate and go north up to the Grand Canyon. But you've probably heard me say before in some other travelogues, if you want to see America and miss it, then just stay on the interstate. So rather than take the interstate north from Phoenix, we're going to do kind of a side trip. And then maybe instead of running up to the Grand Canyon in a day, we're going to take several days on some of the two-lane highways that head that way. Come along, I'll show you on the map here just what I mean. We took this loop road, or it's a series of roads, about an hour out of the edge of Phoenix on Highway 60. You come to the first town, and we'll show you pictures and what it's about. Williamsburg, and, or rather, I'm sorry, Wickenburg. And we then switched to another highway, 89, all on the same kind of a loop road. The highways change numbers, but we'll show you the former capital of Arizona, Prescott. And then we'll go on up to the next community, Jerome, and then Sedona, which is a very well-known, popular tourist destination. So here is the first town, a genuine western town called Wickenburg. I took these photos of a mean-looking steer at the back of a cattle or horse trailer. Kind of looks like my cameraman. But Wickenburg was named after a prospector named Henry Wickenburg, who developed the nearby Vulture Mine, which really ended up producing millions of dollars of gold. The Wickenburg area was as far north as early Spanish ranchers in earlier times ever brought their herds of cattle. Originally, this was the land of the Yavapai Apache people, who called the nearby river the Upside Down River because it flowed underground. Today, there is a sign over the dry riverbed that says, "No fishing from the bridge." The Apache people resisted the white invaders until finally defeated by the U.S. military under General George Crook. Ruthless military campaigns against the Yavapai Apache ended when the last indigenous holdouts were caught in a cave somewhere southeast of here. I read a report that in the midst of the battle, a bewildered Apache infant crawled out onto a rock near the mouth of the cave. When the soldiers saw the child, the army ordered a halt to their deadly firing, but it lasted for only a moment. The army order was given to fire into the mouth of the cave above the child, but the volley of such a massive amount of bullets killed the child immediately, as well as killing everyone inside the cave, man, woman, and child. Today, others now own the land, of course, and we tourists get to enjoy it. The Yavapai Apache were forced onto distant reservations, never to return to their land again. Wickenburg was a rough, tough early western town. You can still see the tree that served as a jail where prisoners were simply chained to the tree. Large and small corrals, some portable ones like this one, are set up throughout the area. Even visitors and tourists bring their horses to town. Horses of all sizes and shapes and kinds. If you like the western life, you will like Wickenburg. I had a cousin who hauled his horse all the way from Alberta down here to the Wickenburg Prescott area. He was an old cowboy, and once he found out that you could bring your horse and Corella down here, he found a second life down in this part of the country. We've left Wickenburg and on the way north to Prescott and gaining elevation. We saw some snow along the road, but in summer it can get hot here, and there is a real danger of wildfire. South of Jerome, you go through a small community called Yarnell. This place hit national headlines when a devastating wildfire burned over 120 homes and other buildings, half the town, and killed 19 firefighters who got caught in strong shifting winds and lost periodic communication. They could not withstand the tremendous heat, and all perished. There's a small state park nearby that recognizes their contribution to their community and the sacrifice that they were forced, unfortunately, to make. At one time, Prescott was the capital of Arizona before Phoenix became the capital. It is a nice, upscale, tourist-oriented western town. We parked here in a city-owned little RV park just across the road from the rodeo grounds. It was a great place. I handle all of the barbecuing, as you can see, and I'll just show you how to flip those hamburgers. Not too many of them fall on the ground, but a few do sometimes. Now we put the spice on. Whoa, wrong can. That's the dope that you put so your meat doesn't stick to the grill. This is the stuff, the salt and the spice. You just got to put the right amount on. It takes a lot of know-how to do this, and it's an important job. And it's a tough job, a stressful job, and you got to have a little bit of Kool-Aid. As you can see, I don't let you get too close looking at my cooking. I don't want you stealing any of my barbecuing secrets. The only time my wife and I have conflict is when she tries to tell me how to barbecue. And I can't have her telling me how to do it right. I got to do it my way. The next day, we saw a few signs like this. This was one in the campground, in the style of a good old Western type of message. You are in God's country. Don't drive like hell through it. Here is another kind of direct message. This property is maintained for the comfort and security of our animals. If you don't like that, please go away. Now, here's another sign with a bit of logic to it. No trespassing. Whoever is found here tonight will be found lying here in the morning. We got a chuckle out of some of these signs. How about this one? Is there life after death? Well, trespass here and find out. This is a window display of some tourist souvenirs. But I can tell you that Prescott is a nice place now. But it was not always the case. It has a history of a rough, tough mining and ranching town. In early pioneer times, Prescott had two very serious problems. Downtown Prescott has several impressive statues. But getting back to those problems, one problem was that in the early days, water made the bar patrons sick. So everybody had to stay with drinking straight whiskey. But that led to the second problem. Everybody got so drunk that they kept falling into the creek. This problem, however, was solved in the 1900 fire that burned most of the town. The building that contained the bar was about to burn, so patrons rolled up their sleeves and picked up the bar inside that was inside the wooden bar and carried it over to another street in the plaza. where drinks could continue to be served while the fire roared outside. Now that is getting your priorities straight. Today you can drink where the bad boys and the bad girls used to drink. One place was here at the Palace on Whiskey Row. Prescott, indeed, has a wild and rich history. This is another nice statue right near City Hall and the Tourist Information Bureau. Prescott also has a rich history that has resulted in a lot of ghost stories. Things like reports that faucets and lights mysteriously turn on and off. There are sightings and ghostly, shadowy figures reported by different people. Some people feel the slight rubbing or the touching of a shoulder, a light tug on your pant leg. And it's unexplained. It's like somebody is doing that. And there's the smell sometimes of a perfume of a woman who characteristically in the old days used to use that kind of perfume. Sometimes there's the quiet sound of heavy breathing. Sometimes there's a growl. Sometimes there's a slight noise of footsteps. If you come to Prescott, you can hear a lot of these ghost stories. Prescott claims to be the oldest rodeo site in the world, but I think I've seen that kind of a sign in other communities as well. At any rate, Prescott is a nice place. Come on down here and take a look at it. And in the meantime, let us roll on. We're heading north toward Sedona, but we're going to go through a mountain side that's got an old-time mining town clinging to its cliffs. We are on the road again, headed toward the next town called Jerome. And you'll see it's the one that's clinging to some cliffs. It's an old ex-mining town. But you can see we're into a little bit of snow here. We missed the main storm that occurred about a week ago. You've got to keep your eye on the weather forecast if you're traveling across country, or you can get caught in some unfortunate and nasty storm situations. But if you can dodge those storms, on the highways, the road dries out pretty quick, and the driving is okay. It looks like we're coming into an area, it's kind of more red rock right in here, so it's kind of changing the highway. It looks like, what do we got up here? It looks like a slag heap that's been dumped out of an old mine somewhere. We are getting close to the little town of Jerome. The highway made a sharp U-turn and we're coming back the other way. Yes, sir, we're coming into Jerome, Arizona. The ex-mining town clinging to the cliffs of a mountainside. Here we are, we're just another bend or two in the road, and we are going to be there. You can see part of the town below us, and the rest of it is between down there and up here. We're coming into the one and only street through town. Two-way traffic most of the time, but there's a little section near the end, at the one end, where it's a one-way street. But as you can see, she's a narrow road, so keep your eyes on the road. Like I said, it's a narrow one-way street. Tourists mainly park here. A few people live here. It's not entirely abandoned anymore. Here's the one-way street. We're coming kind of to the other end of town, where we'll be meeting cars again. But it was just an experience to drive through this town. We're on the only street in town and through town. There's one of the old mining buildings up above us there, long abandoned, but provided riches at one time. And as we go along, look down to the right there. There's the road that we're going down on. So it winds and twists down the hill until we get down to the bottom, which is a level closer to Sedona. So as you saw on that video, a whole lot more to see when you take some of the less traveled roads. And hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up, and we're going to be able to bring you some more videos. And speaking of more videos, we're heading up to the Red Rock country called Sedona. So let's get the old truck going, and away we go. Come along.